Hi yogis, welcome back to my channel. It's the Spiritual Enchantress here, and we're going to start with part 2 of the chakra series that I am doing for the Sacral Chakra today, the Svadhisthana chakra. If you haven't done the first Root Chakra videos, I will link them below, and I would suggest starting off with those two and then moving on to the Sacral Chakra. The Sacral Chakra is associated with the color orange, so I'm doing my best here to match that today. And it is associated with the pelvic bowl area, our hips and our sexual organs. It is associated with our emotions, water, our flow of energy and creativity, our sexuality, and our relation to other people. So if that's something that interests you, we're gonna do a very hip opening focused sequence today, Vinyasa style, for about an hour. And then I'll follow that up in a couple days with a hip opening yin yoga series. So let's get started. We're gonna start off sitting on our heels. We're going to pull the belly up and in. Find length in the spine and connect with the breath. So we're going to do 4 breaths in, lifting our arms all the way up, and out, push the air away. Breathing out of the nose, keeping the stomach activated. Breathe in, lift the hands all the way up high to the sky, but keeping our shoulders down away from our ears. And exhale out the nose, push the air away. Breathe in, inhale the air down into your lungs, down into the pelvic bowl. And breathe out, feel the diaphragm lifting up as your lungs contract and push the air out of your body. One more big deep breath in the nose, feeling the lungs expand, feeling the breath flow into your abdomen. And exhale out, push the air away. We're going to take our knees out nice and wide to kiss the edge of the mat. And walk our hands out forward and come into child's pose to start. Slight hip opening to start off our day. You're going to want to find length in the spine, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, but walking the hands out so you get that nice stretch. Breathing in and out of the nose here. Fingers should be nice and spread wide, suctioning your hands into the mat. There should be a lot of power in this pose, even though it is considered more of a resting pose. And now we're going to walk our hands over to the right slightly to feel a nice side body stretch in our left side body. Breathing into the rib cage of the left side body. Keeping the pelvic floor engaged here. And walk the hands back to center, nice and slow, and then take them to the other side, over to the left. Breathing into the right side body, nice long stretch here. Forehead to the floor or to a block. Should feel really good here. And walking our hands back to center. Walking our hands back towards us, we're going to come up onto all fours. Take our hands directly beneath our shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Suction cup them into the mat and come up into downward facing dog. Taking our feet behind us, about hip width distance apart, and pressing up into like an upside down triangle. Nice line of energy through the crown of the head towards the mat, out the tailbone towards the ceiling. You can bend into the knees here to get that nice line of energy, really pressing into the hands. You can pedal out the legs here by bending opposite knees and switching it up till you kind of find your sweet spot in this pose. Play around with it until you get that perfect spot that feels just right to you. And you can work with bending the knees and straightening the legs and see what feels better in your body. Remembering to press into the hands so you're not sinking into the shoulders here. We're going to take the right leg up and we're going to open the hip up so we can take that leg as high as we can. Feeling a nice hip opening here. Try and keep the arms stable underneath you and the shoulders squared off so you're not dipping one shoulder down lower than the other one. Now we're going to take the top leg and square off the hips. We're going to turn our leg so that the knee is facing the mat. And we're going to slowly bring that leg forward without touching the mat. If you do have to touch the mat, that's fine, but try and do it without tucking the knee up and placing the foot between the hands. Dropping the back left knee down, untucking the toes, and getting a nice juicy hip stretch into the left hip here. Once you have the feet positioning and you've got a nice little stretch on this left hip, we're going to suction the legs up and in. So it's almost like a pair of scissors. You're squeezing them up and in, and you're going to really feel a lot of energy in the hips here. Trying to keep a nice 90-degree angle in that front leg. Bringing the arms up, shoulders down and relaxed, but arms and fingers nice and active here. A few breaths in and out of the nose, keeping those legs nice and active. Taking the left hand down onto the mat on the inside of the right foot. Easy twist. Push into that bottom hand. And you can even use a block to help you if you need some more lift to get that nice line of energy from the bottom hand all the way out to the top fingertips. You can roll, this is an option. You can either stay here, you can roll the right foot open onto the outside edge of the right foot. So the knee's in an angle outwards towards the right edge of your mat. Lizard pose, getting a nice increased stretch in the hips here. Coming back up to center. Placing your hands on either side of the foot. Tucking the back toe under, lifting that leg up, and swinging the right leg back to meet the left in a plank position. We're going to slowly lower down, keeping our elbows tucked in next to our body all the way down to the mat. And keeping our hands next to our chest, just underneath the shoulders, spread nice and wide still. We're going to slowly press up into a baby cobra as we breathe in. Inhale, press the hips into the mat, really engage the abdominals and the pelvic floor here. And exhale, release. Keep the hands where they are. Inhale, come up, engage the abdominals, tighten the stomach. pull the pelvic floor up towards your rib cage. And exhale. Release the muscles. One more time, we're gonna make it worth it this time. Inhale, lift up, press the pelvis down into your mat. Engage the low back muscles. You can test if you're working your back or if you're just holding yourself up with your hands by lifting your hands up. Strength test here. And release. Tucking the toes under. Press up to down dog. This time take your left leg high to the sky. Really open up the hip towards the wall beside you. Remember to keep the alignment in the shoulders, really pressing into the palms of the hand. Make sure one shoulder isn't kicking in lower than the other. And we're going to square off the hips. So we're going to bring the knee facing the mat, the top of the foot facing the mat, and with control, tuck our knee into our chest, swing to a plank position, and take that left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee down, untuck the toe, coming into a low lunge on the left side here. First, like the other side, we're gonna really sink into that hip, get that nice juicy stretch here. And then pull up and in, press away from the floor. Really pull the hip socket into the pelvic bowl here. Lift the arms up, engage the abdominal walls. Pull the pelvic floor up towards your rib cage. Squeeze the hips into their sockets, and then find that 90-degree angle in the front leg. Focusing in front of you, breathing in and out of the nose. Nice long spine here, shoulders down away from the ears. Your legs should be shaking, activated, pulling in towards one another. And take your right hand onto the inside of the left foot for an easy twist here. Pressing the floor away from you. Still scissoring the legs towards each other. Really finding that energy in the spine. I invite you to, if you'd like to go to the next level, open up that left knee towards the left side of the mat, rolling the weight onto the outer edge of the left foot. For dragon pose here, increasing that stretch in the hip. You can even sink into this slightly, let go of some of that engagement to feel that stretch. And then pull up and in, come back to center. Place both hands on either side of the front leg. Tuck the toes of the the right foot under. Straighten that leg, and then bring that left foot back to meet the right in plank position. Hold plank. Lower down to the mat. Come into a baby cobra. Pressing those hips into the mat, engaging the low back, bringing the shoulders towards each other on your back. Exhale, tuck the toes under, and come up into downward facing dog. Pedal the legs out. We're going to push forward into plank position. So there should be a nice straight line out from your head towards the wall in front of you, out through your heels to the wall behind you, pressing the heels away from you, pressing the mat away from you, and keeping the neck in a neutral position. Tighten that stomach up, really press. Breathe in and out of the nose here. We're going to come down either all the way to the ground or into chaturanga. That's in your practice. Up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Some nice breath in and out of the nose here. Remember, check your down dog. Make sure your hands are aligned. Your feet are aligned. Press into the balls of the feet. Really press into the palms of the hand. Lift your right leg up high to the sky. And slowly again, try and do this without touching the mat. Sweep it up and forward and place that right foot between the hands. Now this time, we're going to take our back foot and place it on a 45-degree angle out towards the left. Sink that front knee into a 90-degree angle and come up into warrior one. Now, if you can achieve that 90-degree angle, that's perfectly fine. It's just something that you're working towards. So if you're up here, as long as you're working as hard as you can, that is perfectly fine. We're gonna think about rotating our thigh out towards the right and really suctioning the left hip socket up into the pelvis so that we're squaring off the hips. Really pressing into that back foot. Everything should be engaged and active here. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Breathing here. Now we're going to get ready to step up onto one leg, our right leg. So we're going to press into the left foot and scoot up to standing. Hug the left knee into the chest. If you have to regain your balance, just come back to it. Join us here. Pick a nice spot on the wall. Preferably something that's not moving, so maybe don't look at me on the screen. And you can either stay here, holding the knee in, or you can take hand to big toe pose. So we're gonna take the left peace fingers and wrap them around the left toe and work on straightening the leg. Now, if you don't straighten the leg all the way, that's fine, as long as we keep a nice long line of energy in the spine. So if you're here like this, perfect. Even I have a hard time straightening my leg all the way. Just come to wherever works for you today, where you can stay in a nice poised, balanced position. And if you fall out, just come right back to it. Don't let your inner peace be waved by slight little bumps in the road. Now, if you have your leg extended out, or even if you have your knee in, we're going to take our leg out and open it to the side. You can do this with your knee or with your leg. Opening it out towards the left. Again, the knee does not have to be straight here. Bringing the knee back in, release the leg down, come into mountain pose, both feet hip-width distance apart, really plant them into the mat, lengthen up the spine, breathe in as we bring our hands all the way up, And exhale with control, fold at the hips. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, find a length in the spine. And exhale, place the hands on the mat and step or jump back into plank position. We're going to slowly lower down all the way to the mat or to chaturanga. Breathe out. And inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side this time, bringing that left leg up high to the sky. Open up the hip, feel that nice stretch in the back of the knee. And inhale with control, sweep the left leg forwards, knee up towards the chest. Using the abdominals, place that left leg between the hands. Scoot the back foot to a 45-degree angle to the front right side of your mat. And come up into warrior one. You can adjust here. Make sure that your stance isn't too far away where you're up on your toes, or too close together where your knees surpassing your toes. Think of externally rotating that thigh muscle out towards the left side this time and sectioning the right hip bone up into the socket of your pelvic bowl. Press that back foot away and think of bending into the knee till you get that 90-degree angle in the front leg. Nice length in the spine. We don't want to be opening our chest too much and bringing curve in the back. Breathing in and out of the nose, focusing on that spot in front of you. Preparing to press up on to one leg again. This time we're going to press into the right foot, coming up to standing on the left leg and hug the right knee into the chest. Breathing in and out of the nose, picking that spot at the front of the room to focus on. I'm just going to shift back so you can see me better here. You can either stay here, balancing on the left leg, holding that knee into the chest, or take hand to big toe pose, taking the right peace fingers, wrapping them around those right big toe, and working to straighten that leg while keeping the back straight. You might find that it's a little tight at first and that you can straighten it a little bit more the longer you stand here. Of course, if you fall out, again, just come right back into it. No big deal. We all fall every once in a while, both on and off the mat. How long is it going to take us to recover from the falls in our life? Now we can bring the right leg, out towards the right side of the room. Keeping that leg elongated, the spine elongated. And of course the option, if you're holding the knee, to hold the knee and open out to the side. Keep your poise here. Breathe in and out of the nose. And release the leg down, coming into mountain pose again. Really pressing into all four corners of the feet. Engaging up the legs, taking the pelvis to a neutral position. No sway in the back. No tilting the hips forward too much. Lengthen through the spine, breathe in, bring the arms up towards the sky. And with control, exhale, fold at the hips and bring the hands all the way down towards your feet. And breathe in, bring the hands up the shins to a flat back. Breathe out, place the hands down, step or lightly jump into plank position. Hold plank, push out the heels. Look about 2 feet in front of you, really press into your hands. You can always take plank on your knees here as long as you're keeping that flat back, whichever works for you. Shifting into down dog. Breathe in, shifting back to plank. Exhale, shift back to down dog. Inhale one more time, shift to plank. This time taking your choice of vinyasa, either lowering all the way down to the mat or coming into chaturanga as you breathe out. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up to the sky, breathe in. And exhale with care, shifting that left or right leg forward between the hands. Same as before, we're gonna open up that back foot to about a 90-degree angle, except for we're gonna take it a little bit wider out this time. And we're gonna come up into warrior two. So we're gonna, windmill the left arm back. Sink low into that front knee. And keep the arms in a nice straight T, as if someone had your hands by either side and they were pulling you in opposite directions. Now we're gonna inhale, place the left hand on that back leg and lift the right leg up high to the sky, reverse warrior. Feel a nice opening in the front rib cage here. Exhale, sweep the right arm down onto the inside of that right leg. And really press away from the mat. So you might want to take the block here and play around with the different levels and really find what works for you. And if you don't have a block, you can simply place the right forearm on top of that right knee. Now inhale, reverse warrior. Keep a nice bend in that front knee. Exhale, come all the way down. Extended side angle. Really pressing the feet away from one another. Inhale, come up, extended warrior. Reverse warrior. Exhale, come all the way down, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale all the way down, extended side angle. We're going to straighten that front leg. Work to pull the hips towards the wall on the left side of you, the left side of the mat. So you're not popping your butt out. Really work to find that line of energy between the mat and out the top fingers. If that means coming onto the top of your block here, really pressing away, you might find that you have more length and it's easier to breathe. Now, we're going to press up. You can just scoot this back foot in slightly. We're gonna come into half moon. So we're gonna really press this right foot into the mat. I like to use my block for half moon. If not, you're gonna have to probably use your leg. Bring the left leg up. I'm just gonna move back more so you can see me better than I can. Plant the right foot down. Really lift that left leg up So it's parallel to the mat. Really flex that back foot. Press away from you and press into your block or into the mat. So you can find that nice line of energy from the floor to the ceiling. Pressing your hips to the left side of the room. And think as if there's a string coming out the top of your head, tied to the wall at the front of the mat. And it's pulling you in one direction, and someone's got your foot and they're pulling you to the back of the room. It's creating this beautiful, nice, long lines here. And release. Shake out the legs. Coming to face the side of your mat, bring your legs out nice and wide, further than hip width distance apart, and bring them to about a 45-degree angle out. We're going to bend the knees and come into goddess pose. You might feel silly doing this, that's fine. We're going to straighten up, breathe in, and exhale, bend down, keeping our hands at prayer here. Breathe in, extend the legs up. Bend into the knees, breathe out. Exhale the air out of your lungs. Hold here. Bring the shoulder blades together along your back. Breathe out as you extend the legs. Now, bringing your feet into a pigeon-toed position, so they're slightly curved inwards. We're going to, and nice and wide, so it should be about one leg length between the two. Folding at the hips, keeping the stomach pulled up and in, really engaging the abdominals here. Folding down. Once you get to about halfway, you can place your hands on the ground here. And think about breathing in, find length, and exhale, fold. Breathe in, push up, find length. Exhale, fold. Should really press into the outer sides of your feet here. You should really feel engagement of the muscles on the outside of your ankles and in the back of your knees, that nice hamstring stretch here. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, fold. Walking your hands over to the right side of the mat, bend your right knee and let the toes of the left foot come up. Really flex your toes towards your shin. And bring your hands to prayer position at the chest here. You should feel a nice hip opening in the left hip. Keeping length in the spine and keeping the abdominals scrunched up towards your spine. Really strong in all of our positions. Bring the hands on the mat. Bending into that left leg, straightening the right leg and walking over to the left side of the mat. Flexing the right toes towards the shin. Bringing our hands to prayer. At the chest, pressing them together. Really activate everything. Really activate your glute muscles and your thigh muscles. Everything's working here. Stomach pulled up and in. And breathing in and out of the nose. Finding that effort and ease and the balance between the two. Placing your hands down, straightening that left leg and coming back to center. Find a nice flat back. And engaging the abdominals, we're gonna roll up one spine at a time. Keep the hands on the hips. You might find this helps. Find length, and pull up, up, up. Perfect. You can heel toe your feet back into center. Turn to the front of the mat. Breathe in, lift all the way up. Exhale, forward fold with control. Inhale, find length. Exhale, place the hands down, step or lightly jump back into plank position. Slowly lower down to chaturanga or all the way to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Ready for the left side. Bring that left foot high up to the sky. Opening up that hip. With control, we are going to bring that left leg up and in, tuck it into our chest, and step it between the hands. Remember, taking care to bring that back foot in slightly, bring it to a 45-degree angle out to the right. Find the positioning that works for you, and coming up into warrior two. Again, windmilling that right arm open. Nice T position as someone's pulling your arms away. Work to get that front knee bent at a 90-degree angle. If you're up like this, that is fine. Just working towards it. Rotating that leg out to the left. Nice length in the spine here. Now that we have the positioning, really pressing into the feet, press away from one another, and breathe in. Bring that left arm up into reverse warrior, right hand on the back leg, and exhale, bringing that left hand down onto the inside of the left foot. Extended side angle. We can use the block here if you'd like. You can even keep the block in your hand as you come up into reverse warrior. Breathe in. And exhale down into extended side angle. Again, we can have this arm under shin. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Try and keep that front leg bent. Exhale, extended side angle. Your legs should be on fire. One more, breathe in, reverse warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. Straighten that front leg. Walk that back foot in slightly. Triangle. Really pressing the hips forward. So to the right side of the mat. Think about a nice long line. If someone had a ruler stick from your fingers up your back to the other one, would all areas of your arms be touching it? Pressing into the feet. Now we're going to come into half moon. So however you need to get there, either shuffling this back foot in, bring that weight into the left foot, bring the right foot up and straight out parallel to your mat. I like to use, sorry, I'm just going to move back so you can see this better. My block here. Really press into the block, helps me balance in this pose. Bringing the hips towards the right side of my mat. Bring that T in the arms that we had in triangle or in extended side angle. Really flexing that back foot as if someone's pulling it away from me. You should really feel this in your glutes and your low back as well. A lot of power in this pose. It's a difficult one. I fall out of it a lot. Breathing in and out of the nose here. And release. Shake it out. Woo. Bringing the feet on either side of the mat. With your feet slightly tilted outwards. We're gonna come down into Mula Dhara Yogi Squat. Bringing our hands to prayer. Really lengthening the spine and pressing the hands together. If this is too low for you, you can take a block or a pillow or some sort of prop and place it under your butt, and this will help a lot. And breathing in, we're going to take 10 restorative breaths here. In and out of the nose. Spine should be nice and long. Energy coming out the top of the head towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades coming towards each other on your back. Pressing into the palms here. Pressing into all four corners of the feet. Protecting your ankles and your knees. Engaging the pelvic floor. Pulling it up towards your rib cage. And squeezing your abs in towards your spinal column. And release, bring your butt down onto the mat. With control, bring your legs towards one another, knees bent. Plant your feet into the ground. And slowly, one vertebra at a time with your arms out and keeping your abdominals fully active, coming and lowering down as slow as you can. Looking up at the ceiling. And release. Perfect. If you have a block nearby, I would suggest grabbing it. If not, we're going to come into bridge as if we do have a block, and we're going to think about squeezing the block together so that we can keep our knees parallel to one another so they're not splaying open. So bringing your block between the thighs if you have one, bringing your heels below your butt, about the distance away that your fingertips are, so I can slightly graze my heels with my fingertips here. Really squeezing everything towards the midline, and now slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, engaging the hips towards the ceiling. Hands down on the mat, not turning our neck here, just looking directly above us. And release. This next one, we're going to walk our hands in beneath us and clasp a hold of them beneath us. So, inhale, exhale, and pressing up as much as we can. Squeeze that block, walking your shoulder blades underneath you, shimmying them underneath. Creates more space to lift those hips up towards the ceiling. Really pressing those feet into the mat and really working to bring those hip flexors towards the sky. And release. Some deep restorative breaths here in and out of the nose. And go up one last time. Press up, walk your shoulder blades underneath, really clasp those hands, squeeze those thighs together. Whew. And release, remove the block. Take some nice windshield wipers and dropping the knees side to side, releasing the low back here. Hug the knees into the chest. Take the outsides of the feet with your hands and come up into happy baby. So you should press your tailbone down into the floor. It shouldn't be lifting up. And think about pulling your feet down directly using the strength of your arms and your shoulders. The shoulders should be on the ground. If this is too much for you, you can simply take the palms of your feet together and hold the ankles here and just get a more minor hip opening that works for you. And release. Hug the knees in. We're gonna rock up to seated. Take as many rocks as you need to get there. We're gonna open our legs nice and wide into a straddle position. And we're going to keep that length in the spine. Think about stretching up, and this isn't about hunching over, it's about lengthening. And I like to slowly creep my hands out till I get to my edge. Breathing in and out of the nose, keeping that nice length will help you to breathe in this position. And only go as far as you can without bringing a bend into the knees. We're gonna stay here for a little while, so if you want and you feel like you're opening up more, you can see if you can creep just a little bit further. And if that means you're up here, perfect. Wherever you are is perfect right now. Walk in slightly, take a nice deep breath, and breathe out. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Walk your hands over to the right foot for a nice side body stretch in the left side body. You can think about lifting the right arm up as if you're squished between a pane of glass here. If your ribs were being squished between a pane of glass, you'll find you get quite a nice stretch in the side body here, opposed to being like this. Open up. That means you're up here. Perfect. Wherever you are right now. Placing the hands back on the ground, coming out in a nice circle, walking over to the left. And when you get there, same thing, bringing that right arm up this time. And think of it being in between a pane of glass. Breathe your breath low into your lungs. Really breathe it into the side body where you feel that stretch. Bring the hand down onto the floor. Slowly walk back to center. Walk in. Support yourself. You can take your hands on the outside of your knees and help bring them together slowly. And windshield wiper them from side to side to release some of that energy in the back of your legs. Now we're going to take either legs up the wall or hips on a block. So if you don't have a block, I would suggest going up on the wall, bringing the bottom of your hip bones and your tailbone to the base of the wall, and just bringing your legs up, having your body directly out from the wall like you're the letter L. And if you don't have a wall nearby, taking hips on a block, or just bringing your body into that L shape without the block, but it really is nice with that block underneath. And relaxing here for a few breaths. Really think of creating a nice long line of energy from your hips out the feet. Engage the feet by flexing them up towards your shins, like the toes are trying to touch your shin bones here. Nice. Bring the legs down onto your mat. Slowly bring the legs down to the left if you're against the wall. And meet us lying on your back. Roll over to one side. Press yourself up to seated. We're going to do one more hip opening pose before we take a lying spinal twist and Shavasana. So we're going to do frog pose. You can either roll up the edge of the mat and place your knees on the padding. You can put pillows under your knees, or if you do have blocks, I like to use my blocks. And we take our knees on the blocks or the props or the rolled up mat or just the floor if you have that flexibility range. Bring your feet directly out from behind the knee, and then either stay up on your hands. Again, we want to keep that line of energy of the spine, nice long spine. You're not hunched over. And if you want to increase the stretch, you can come down onto your forearms and think about pressing your tailbone towards the back of the room will increase the stretch in the hip flexors here. Keep the neck in a neutral position so it's in line with the spine. You can engage the stomach muscles in your pelvic floor in this position too, and you'll feel a lot more power in the pose. If you're on your forearms, pushing up onto your hands, slowly bringing your heels and your toes towards one another and press backwards out of the pose nice and slowly. That's a pose you really want to come out mindfully so you're not injuring yourself. Kind of shake the legs out. We're going to come to lie on our back. Bring the right knee into the chest and drop it over to the left side. If it doesn't come all the way down to the ground, that's perfectly fine. Only bring it as far as it can go without your shoulder lifting off the floor, and you can place a prop like a block or a pillow or a blanket underneath to support that knee. Looking over to the right once you have your position. Bringing that knee back to center. And bring that foot onto the ground. Extend that leg out and bring the left knee into the chest now. Give it a little hug. And then drop it over to the right side. Again, only going as far as you can without breaking that shoulder off of the ground. You might find one side's a little more flexible than the other. And again, we can always use props here for our knee. We're not pushing or pulling or jerking our body. Just letting it naturally go where it wants to go. Looking over to the left now. Breathing in and out of the nose. Just relaxing here and feeling the sensations rush through your body from all that hard work you did today. Bringing that knee back to center, nice and slow. Bringing the hips to neutral, their spine and our tailbone on the mat. Bringing both legs out nice and wide. So our heels come on either side of the mat and let the feet drop open. Same with our hands, either side of the mat, and let them drop open. Release all muscular engagement in your whole body. Let everything go. Release control and surrender. Breathe in and out of the nose. Nice deep breaths. Shavasana, final rest pose. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take a nice stretch overhead, lengthen. Roll over to your right side. Slowly press yourself up to a seated position. Come into a nice cross-legged position here. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for doing this practice with me today. I hope it opens something up for you and helps some energy flow through your sacral chakra. If you had any profound breakthroughs or experiences, please give this video a thumbs up and even let us know in the comments how you felt about this. Definitely stay tuned for the yin yoga video that's hip opening focused for your sacral chakra. Share this with anyone you think would gain value from this video. Definitely check out the Root Chakra video if you haven't already. And have an awesome day. Thanks, guys. Namaste.